reach advantage here for Henry, Jeremy. Parsons really going to have to close that distance.
And going with the leg kicks seems to be a recipe of success here at Hard Knocks 48. Parsons' hands are down low. Wouldn't surprise me if Duncan Henry starts to try and use the jab, perhaps even just a range find.
But you can see he already cut off the cage on Parsons before Parsons moved forward again. But yeah, as you mentioned, his hands way down low. More tentative start to this fight. And Mike Parsons trying to be, described in the early going of his career was very much just a brawler and was really looked to establish skill since then. Nice takedown there.
Oh, it's a great takedown by Mike Parsons, but Duncan Henry said, look, this is an eventuality in this match. He's probably going to take me down. He's an excellent wrestler, so I trust my ground game. I trust my ability to transition and get through and be able to submit him from the bottom position. So this not outside of the game plan here for Duncan Henry.
Parsons on top here. Continuing to try and work from there. Henry, nice reversal. Parsons was trying to jump away. Now a guillotine attempt by Mike Parsons. Not in the right position necessarily to try it from there.
Not to finish it, and he does have his hands on open, but there's the power that Mike Parsons has, and you could see him setting up. As soon as Duncan Henry's head was down, we opened it up for that switch. So good work by both of these guys as they continue to advance from the bottom position to try and get back into an advantageous one.
Big hammer fist to Mike Parsons. Parsons now has the arm loose. Can Henry get it back? He does. Parsons lost his grip on the arm bar there.
When Henry also said that he's got incredible flexibility, and he showed it there because there was a lot of pressure on that arm bar by Mike Parsons, but Duncan Henry again saying, I'm okay on the ground, I'm happy to be here. He's also very long, so it can be awkward for a shorter fighter.
Parsons had top position for most of this round to this point. Looking to find his spot, find an opening. There is some damage on the face of Mike Parsons here, Jeremy. It looks like just over top of his left eye. There's a bit of a mouse there. Just short time left in the round. Parsons will pop up, land another fist. You can hear his coach doesn't quite like that squat, whatever that's intended to be. Feinting a shot, maybe.
Just trying to see what your opponent does when you change your levels for a shot. But from that distance, Duncan Henry knows, working with some of the top-level guys at TriStar, including Cleo Nube, who is their wrestling coach there, and Gia Sasuri, who's another top-level wrestler in this country, working. He'll be able to recognize that double from that distance has no chance of scoring.
There is a welt and some blood over the knee of Duncan Henry. Trying to slam was Mike Parsons.
Good pummeling in by Duncan Henry.
See Henry throwing him aside, now trying to find fists. Very surprised the referee not stopping that one, as you're not allowed to bring your opponent up and through on a slam, which was borderline at that moment.
Yeah, it is, but it's great technique, and in any other level of mixed martial arts, everybody is happy with that one, and I think Adam Cheadle recognized that. And again, there's a big difference in the way that Duncan Henry took that. He took it like a guy who's been double-legged 100 times or 1,000 times, so he didn't put himself in any danger. So I think good on the referee for letting that one go, and now a mount here for Mike Parsons.
Parsons looking for an opening here. Again, was on top for the better part of round one following his takedown. And is trying to find an opening here, trying to get over to the side for an arm triangle. Was unable to do so, though. Henry squirting free. Now Parsons spinning around. Again, some nice wrestling here from Mike Parsons. as he tries to find an opening with just under a minute to go.
He keeps his hips facing the mat at all times, and that is a wrestling thing, that you don't want to turn your hips to give your opponent an opportunity to turn you over. And so keeping your hips down, keeping your weight heavy is something that is the hallmark of wrestlers and why they've always found success early. But here's an arm triangle, and if Mike Parsons can step outside and get out of the half guard of Duncan Henry will be in a lot of trouble.
Duncan Henry just giving the referee a thumbs up to let him know he's doing just fine. 20 seconds to go, and now Parsons trying to get out of that half guard. Now he's out of there, can put some pressure on that arm triangle. 10 seconds to go, and Mike Parsons, again, another thumbs up from Duncan Henry from the bottom, letting the referee know he's in no danger of going out. He's not worried about the submission, not necessarily a bad play from Duncan Henry. Again, trying to find range. Parsons has had to figure out how to get inside the length of Duncan Henry. Both fighters with a big smile as Mike Parsons feinted a leap off the cage.
That right hand is very long from Duncan Henry, and Mike Parsons needs to keep his hands up, especially being up 2-0.
We saw that just a few minutes ago. Abbas Filet had his hands down and ended up losing to a spinning back fist. Mike Parsons needs to protect himself here and coming forward. Parsons not close enough to land a punch. Henry there had enough length to reach the back of his head. So Mike Parsons got to protect himself here in the third round. On the other side, Duncan Henry's got to get to work, Jeremy. If he wants to finish this fight with just 2 minutes to go, likely down 2 rounds, he's going to need to let it go.
And some check kicks here. It's good head movement. I just think that Duncan Henry needs to start throwing. It's of the cautious nature that he has right now. There's a big spinning back fist from Mike Parsons, but gives up his back to Duncan Henry. This is the first time we'll get to see Duncan Henry up top.
Yeah, Henry had a very brief moment on the top in the round 1 before Parsons just body pressed his way out of it. And now inside control is Duncan Henry. Just talking to Mike Parsons over top. And again, some punches now landing to the side, holding him down. Nice roll through there from Mike Parsons, again showing that strength, showing that wrestling background.
And he's got Duncan Henry in a pretty precarious position here, and if he's able to lift up, can start to work a choke in. He's got to move his hands in slowly. Again, Duncan Henry talking to the official.
Again, now looking for the choke is Mike Parsons.
This is like a modified Darce choke here from Mike Parsons. A lot of pressure being put on Duncan Henry, but Duncan Henry still holding tough.
Just 30 seconds left in the third and final round. Mike Parsons looking for a victory. Nothing but thumbs up from the bottom and Duncan Henry to our official. As again, now a hand to the side. You can hear the coaches trying to get him to rotate over and get some more pressure on this choke. 8 seconds left now. Short time left. Another thumbs up from Duncan Henry. Mike Parsons will likely win this fight, but he certainly had to earn it all 3 rounds there. Duncan Henry may have gone unconscious there, Jeremy.
Right at the end there.